Chronicles. Chronicles.
Hey, it's your boy DJ DYMONDKUTZ, and welcome to another episode of DJ Chronicles. I have the pleasure of having my sister here, the legendary, none other than DJ Redbottom. How you doing?
I'm good. How you been?
Doing wonderful. Now that you're here, I mean, hey, it was tough this time because you know how technology is.
It's always hit or miss. You never get anything on point.
There you go.
Gotta play around with it a little bit.
Especially in our line of work.
Absolutely.
So, for those of you out there who do not know who this wonderful woman is, she has been, I can't really say where she hasn't been because she has been all over the place doing her thing. If y'all missed it last night, man, remarkable. She always shows up and shows out. She has a wonderful time doing what she does. So just tell everybody, give them a little taste of DJ Redbottom.
All right. Well, of course, DJ Redbottom. Been DJing about about 8 years now. Had the pleasure of DJing just about any and everywhere for just about everyone. I mean, everybody always asks what's the best part about being a DJ, and I'm like, you get to do what you love what you do, and it shows in your work.
Definitely.
So, it's just being able to be in a position where I don't have to punch a clock, but I can do what I want to do. I make the money that I want to make. You know what I mean? And there's nothing really holding me back.
I know that's right. And for being a woman, in this field, has there been any struggles, anything like that?
I mean, it's always a struggle. Being a woman, you get hit on a lot. People want to book you because you're cute, not necessarily knowing if you have talent or not. They base everything on your looks instead of your skill set. For me, it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, you probably get booked a lot because you're a girl and because you're cute and you're this and you're that. And then when I get on stage or, I'm doing my radio show, they're like, okay, yeah, it's not just that anymore. I get it. I get why they're booking you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
it's always good to show and prove because there are a lot of females out here that, they perpetrate as if they're DJs and they really are just a cute face or, about a nice body.
Okay. Since you spoke about that, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it sucks because sometimes I don't know if people are actually booking me for the right reasons. My favorite thing though is the reaction because that kind of shows and proves and tells all. I've been to venues where, I'll show up, I'm obviously not in a t-shirt like right now, but, dress on, heels and everything and everybody's looking and stuff. And then the minute I get on the tables, they're like, oh snap, you really can play.
Yeah.
So that whole show improves thing just kind of it makes up for the, the BS and the ignorance of just, thinking that I'm getting booked because of my look.
Right.
It's like I said, it does suck sometimes, because it puts this like cloud over your head. But you know, when you go in there and you show them what you got, and you know, you do your thing, it kind of makes up for all that.
Oh, definitely. And let me tell y'all a little something about DJ Red Bottom. You know she's on point because of the fact you don't really see her with no controller. You see, it takes a lot of skill to be up on them tables. And see, that's where we connect that, because I'm still with the old school, to the point where, you know, you whip them tables out. There's nothing like dropping that needle.
That's right. And a lot of people can't do it.
Because their thing is, they're so used to the technology today that the technology does everything for them.
Exactly.
For us, it really takes a skill level to it, because we have to listen for it. Those of us who still with the vinyl, we're still listening. See, I originally did it to the point where I learned from vinyl. And it's not something that you can just say, oh, I'm gonna do this overnight, to where with a controller, you're like, okay, I got a controller. Just give me the beats per minute. You hit a button, okay, everything's synced. Nah, with us, we did it on the fly. It wasn't a situation where, you know, oh, just give me anything and I can just go ahead and put it in. No, we had to do it manually and pay attention. So we were doing multiple things at one time compared to the DJs today. And
gotta worry about your needles getting dirty, the vinyl warping and scratches. But I will say this, more so now, I've like, as much as I love to rock on the tables, it's more convenient and it's easier as far as like equipment wise and mobility to use the controllers. And a lot of people think that it's really easy to just jump on them and just go. But there's a skill set behind that too. There are people who actually just press buttons and hit the sync button and can't really, you know, they really can't play. And that they use that controller as their crutch. And that all shows improve when there's no controller and you got to get on tables, or you got to get on like a CDJ set and you don't have no clue because you can just press buttons. So like those are the DJs that I'm like, yeah, there's no versatility there. There's no level of knowledge there. But a lot of us like now, so like especially nowadays, even with like the new rain stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, people are like, it's not real turntables, but there's still a skill set behind it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
and speaking about the Rain 12s, I touched the Rain 12s due to the fact it still has the feeling of the 12.
Yes. And that's what makes it so dope. Like you still get that feel, you get that vinyl, that you know, that nostalgia back. Yeah. Like, yes, okay, I feel like I'm in my zone.
So the only thing that we're missing on those is the fact that the
needles, which makes it, I mean, like for me, I like that because it's easier to, it's like I said, the mobility and the convenience of it is nice.
Yeah.
Same thing with the phase. You got the phase, so you don't have to worry about all that extra, and it comes in handy because certain gigs, it's rough. You know, you've been there. Yes, it's rough. You rocking on the beach, the wind's blowing. You rocking on a cruise ship, the wind's blowing. It's crazy.
Definitely. So, and it helps a lot now because when we do our tricks, there's certain tricks we weren't able to do with the needle being there. Now that you get the needle off, it's open. The door is wide open as far as tricks. And I think that's where the DJs today miss out on. They miss the things that we would, you know, that we normally do, to the point the back tricks, leg, you know, turntable between the legs and stuff like that, lifting the turntable up.
Yeah, there's none of that on a controller.
They pick up the whole controller. It's like, okay, what trick are you doing? Just because you pick up the controller, there's nothing there.
They don't understand that feel, that vinyl, that touch.
So what was it like for you when you first touched the turntable?
It's funny, for the longest, I always knew like I wanted to play music. I wanted to be a DJ. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because I was a girl or just because I was doing so much, you know, extra as far as work wise, but nobody ever wanted to really sit and take the time out to let me get on the tables and learn. And back in 2013, some friends of mine had started up an online radio station, and they asked me to come and be an online personality originally. And I did it for a little while and it was cool, but I was like, I want to learn how to rock the turntables. I need to learn how to get on these tables. So one of the DJs, well, actually two of the DJs on the station was like, all right, well, after we do the shows, let's rock. And it was like, I jumped into it. And from the minute I started, I loved it. Like, I don't even, it's like the control and just being able to play what you want to play, feel the music. It's just everything. Like music is like literally life.
There you go. Now, starting from there to where you are today and seeing all the different DJs throughout your journey, is there anybody that stands out the most?
Well, as far as female DJs, I always would say Coco Chanel. She's
there
the
you go.
I mean, like, there's nobody better than Coco. She's the dopest female.
Shout out to Coco Chanel.
Shout out, yeah, big shout out. As far as with male DJs, there's so many dope male DJs. I mean, I gotta say my husband is like probably number one. So it's big shout out DJ Diamond Artist. Big mentor. Just overall like role model behind them turntables. Like everything that there is to learn, he's the man. Like he's done it all. He's won, DMC competitions. He's been a tour DJ, club DJ, everything that you can think of on those tables, he's accomplished. So who better to learn from? Who better to, be my partner and be, by my side all the time. So I would say, and just having the patience to deal with me and his other students. It's just I would say he's a big major influence for me.
That's what's up. I heard you say DJ Diamond Artist. We share something in common.
Little diamond thing going on.
Yes indeed. It's all good, but you know what, there's nothing better to the point where a couple enjoying the same thing to the point where I know you're pushing him, I know he's pushing you, to the point where, it's a joint in this. It's no longer to the point where you're doing your thing and then he has another occupation. So I do see that to the point where it's a blessing.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand that. So, for me, I'm happy to the fact that we have a strong couple in the industry to the point where you can guide somebody else as far as another couple to the point where, hey, because I know it's some ups and downs that you can guide them through saying, hey, look, you don't get worried about this. Or don't let that, get to you because we've been there, we've been through this. In this area, it's going to take some time, or we already been there. You might not want to go there because of the fact it can mess with your relationship. And a lot of people don't understand it either because, we put ourselves in certain areas. It's not to the point we meant to be there, but our occupation took us there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's so dope because it's like people who aren't in the industry or aren't in our line of work, they don't get it. Like, you're dealing with a bunch of craziness. Like you may not always want to be somewhere, but you got to be there, especially if you're DJing for artists. You're there to DJ and they there to do whatever they're doing. And
right.
You deal with a lot of extra stuff. There's groupies, there's fans, there's this, there's that. And, people on the outside looking in, they're like, I don't know how you do it. Like, how do you, but we coming from the same perspective. Like, I know what you're doing, you know what I'm doing, and right. You understand. So it makes things a lot easier than dating somebody on the outside,
Correct. Because somebody on the outside, they look at that to the point, especially you. They look at you, oh, she's pretty, she's this. I don't want you doing this party because I don't want nobody hitting on you.
Yeah, and that's what it, in the past, that's what it's been. It's like, you always out. you're always out partying. I'm like, I'm not out partying. Honestly, I don't even like to go out unless I'm rocking on a set. So I'm like, I'm not out partying. I'm out working. This is my occupation. This is my job. Nah, this is just a hobby. This is who I am. This is what and this is what I do. So
I'm so glad you just mentioned hobby, because a lot of people who don't understand our lifestyle, that's the first thing they want to put on us. It's exactly. A hobby. No, it's not a hobby. It's a job. It's the same type of job you go to and you do a 9 to 5. It just so happens that we do it for 4 hours. Mm-hmm. But those 4 hours you see us, we planned way before we got there.
Mm-hmm. And people don't understand that. They think we just come with our computer or our turntables and that's it. We just play music. We just the Pandora.
Right.
And it's not that. It's definitely not that. There's work that goes into it. I'm downloading music. I'm curating playlists. People don't understand. It's really task behind it all.
And I do wish, it was more opportunities for gatherings like this to actually educate the public to where this is what a DJ life is. It's not what you see. It's something there before you even see us.
Absolutely.
We're up late at night. We're downloading music. We put music into it's the perfect place for us so we actually pull it. Mm-hmm. If it's an event that we know about ahead of time, we have to actually put together this event in our mind without being there first. Once we get there, we're hoping that what we put together will actually fit, because it changes at any given time.
And that's the thing people don't understand. You could put together a playlist and think you have it all planned out, but the number one necessity is being able to read a crowd. When you get to that and you never know what to expect until you get to your venue or to your party or wherever you're rocking at.
Exactly.
Like
now, have you ever come across
that is radio? Because you don't see nothing. You're not seeing who you're rocking for. But when you're on stage and you're rocking and the crowd's looking at you like you're crazy, some people don't see that. They just keep doing whatever it is they want to do. And it's not about you. It's about the crowd and what they want. And you got to give it to them. That's part of the job.
Exactly. And since you went there, that's like your promoters. Their thing is they'll tell you one thing. Okay, we need you for this type of party. Okay, cool. If we didn't know our business the way we do, we would go according to what the promoter said. Promoter can sit there and say, oh, it's a young crowd. I need you to play this. I need you to play that until you get there. You get there, it's a whole nother crowd.
And I had to learn that early. Very early. I had promoters who will book me. Oh, this is the type of party it is. This is what you have to, have. Don't even worry about X, Y, Z. And then you go to the party or the club and it's something totally different. And you're like, well, I don't even have that loaded into my Serato or whatever right now. You're looking crazy because you listen to the promoter instead of just being prepared and having everything.
And see, and stuff like that is where somebody was always want to look at the DJs as the scapegoat. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, that's their fault.
I told them what to play.
But not knowing what happened in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So, you had mentioned that, you perform with a lot of people. Is there anybody that you wish or hope to go back out with?
Well, I would say there's probably people that I wish, that's on my wish list.
Okay.
I would definitely at some point, I'd love to be able to rock for Jay-Z. I'm like a huge Jay-Z fan, so that would be pretty dope. Okay. And then, female wise, there's so many new female artists out. As crazy as it sounds, I wouldn't mind rocking for a Cardi B or one of the newer female artists. I think it would be dope for them to have a dope DJ, and especially a female DJ. I don't understand why some of these artists don't have female DJs. It's such a better look for the stage presence.
Right.
So
Because, well, I can understand Cardi B because especially when she was talking about the red bottoms. So yeah, that would only make sense.
yeah,
But
that'd be
I know that you travel from the east to the west coast, quite often. What's the difference between the east and the west as far as playing wise?
I mean, obviously, everywhere you go, the music's gonna be different. For me, I mean, it's more or less just being prepared, and that's anywhere you go. Like if I'm going to Baltimore, I got to make sure that I have like that Baltimore club bounce music. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going down south, I got to make sure I have that southern, what I like, the booty clapping music, the strip club music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to Texas. I'm riding slow. I got that pimp C, that bun B, and then West Coast. Even though you have the heavy New York presence over there, they want to hear their West Coast rappers. So you gotta make sure that you up on everybody, that you up on your 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 geographics early, because everywhere is different. Like
Right.
if I play what I play in New York and Jersey, it's not gonna go over because they want to hear that Jersey club hop.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about knowing the dynamics of where you're playing, whether it's West Coast, whether it's, down south, wherever you're playing. You just got to know the dynamics and be familiar with all that.
Now, see, I like the way you put that because the new cats don't understand that. They want to be trapped in a box. Their thing is, well, I like hip hop, so that's all I'm gonna play. Or I like trap music, that's all I'm gonna play. I try to get it, crossed over to where if you're a DJ, the word hip hop is a culture. It's not just R&B, it's not just hip hop, it's other things too. You got Afro beats, you got EDM, you got house, you got reggae. All that still pertains to the hip hop era.
Exactly. But you know what? They're so close-minded. Like you said, they want to hear I like trap, so I want to hear trap. But that's all they know is trap. They haven't taken the time to actually learn their music. They don't have that musicality. And without that, I mean, you're just gonna be a one-dimensional DJ.
Exactly.
Who wants to hire a one-dimensional DJ? I want somebody that knows everything. Like they can play any kind of party.
Exactly. Now, for years, there's always been a problem between the DJ and the clubs due to the fact that the club owners always wanted to kind of shortchange us as far as the DJs. Because they feel as though, well, it's my club, is this, is that. But they don't really understand where the DJ comes in at. The DJ is your house.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming because of the fact that if the DJ is doing his job, they're coming because they are doing the work.
Exactly.
The club is just a building. If this DJ is bringing people in, why not do a percentage instead of, well, I'm just going to give you a flat fee. Flat fee is fine to start out with, but the buildup should be, I want a percentage because I'm also the promoter for your club. For people to go outside and say, hey, look, I want y'all to rock over this club with me this weekend because this DJ over here be handling his business.
And that's what ends up happening. You end up being the promoter. You end up being the person making the flyers. You doing everything, all the background work, all the leg work, and they want to just give you a flat fee. But you know what? In that perspective, I wouldn't even just blame the club owners. It's a lot of DJs out here that's okay with taking $150 for a 4-hour night just for that clout. And that's where I think one of the biggest problems, like with the whole DJ culture nowadays is, it's like nobody, I won't say they don't know their worth, because a lot of the DJs that are taking their money don't really have much of a worth to begin with. They just trying to do something. But it's like, you've got somebody like, for us, I'm not taking $150 for my time. That's not worth my time when I'm charging upwards of $150 to $200 per hour.
There you go.
So $150 for a night, what am I doing with that? Like, I'm not feeding my family with $150, and I'm not trying to club hop and do 4 different clubs in one night. I live in New York. You know how crazy traffic is. Like,
oh yeah,
not worth my time. So, you know, a lot of it is from, you know, these younger DJs taking the short change and just, you know, not having any net worth behind them. And it's messing it up for all of us, because who want to pay us to DJ somewhere for 4 hours and make $800-900 when they can pay Joe Schmo over there $150?
yeah. And you got some people who look at it to the point where they don't think that we're worth the amount of money we're charging. Because they're looking at the outside saying, well, you know, you're only spinning, you're only pushing buttons, you're only doing this, but not realizing how much experience we have in the fact of what we do. The amount of money you talk about paying somebody, like you mentioned, like $100 or $150 for 4 hours, that's somebody who's just starting out.
Exactly.
But if somebody has over 30 years in the business, you can't expect them to take $150. They have too much invested. Equipment alone, there's not a piece of equipment that you can replace for $150. And a lot of folks don't understand that. But how is it that when we do our tours and stuff like that, they get it with no problem? They have no problem paying. Even if you go out of town, they have no problem paying. But these young cats have basically destroyed our reputation in what they're doing and not realizing, hey, the ones who have been in this game longer than us, they're feeding families. I'm just getting in the game. I have nobody to feed. I just want something in my pocket and just something I can go out and say, hey, look, I'm here this Friday. You have to respect the game to the point where there's others before you. You can't go over them saying, hey, with a low bid, well, I'll do it for $75. Come on.
Sold.
And I know for you, I mean, hey, like you said, for the women, it was always tough enough as it is. And then have somebody to low ball you. That's even tough, because now your thing is, I got double the work to put out just to get what I want.
Yeah, it's a no-go.
So let's get to the balance. How do you balance home life along with the stage life?
I mean, well, obviously, like I said, it makes things a lot easier that my better half is the DJ and in the music industry. So it's kind of like, you know, the biggest thing is just conflicting schedules, trying to, you know, go away on vacation and gigs coming up, whether it's me or him. And then, you know, we also have a 9-year-old daughter. So, you know, I might be DJing tonight somewhere, but, you know, somebody's got to be home with, you know, with our daughter. So we got to, you know, it's just more so than anything else, just scheduling and timing is probably like the hardest thing to balance out. For the most part, everything else is actually kind of cake. It's pretty easy.
Cool. Now, have you and your husband ever worked together?
Yeah, we do. We actually have an entertainment company where we do parties, catering, like full event setups and planning together. Okay. So yeah, a lot of our work is together, and then we have, you know, our separate, you know, entities that we deal with.
That's what's up. I hope people are listening, because that's what it's all about. It's about building to the point where y'all are creating a legacy to where you can actually leave behind to your daughter, to where she ain't got to do the struggle. And a lot of folks don't understand, those of us that's in this business, what we actually are trying to do. They're still looking at it from, but it's not a 9 to 5. You don't have retirement plan. You don't have 401k. But not realizing we have something bigger than those, because we're not relying on somebody else to take care of us.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, with that being said, throughout all your journey so far, have you had the support that some of us been looking for from the start, or did you get your support prior?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Because I couldn't hear you. This it started echoing a little bit.
When you first started out, did you get the support as far as to keep going, or did you get your support after?
Oh, it was definitely after. In the beginning, everybody, it was more like a joke. People were like, DJ, where did that come from? And like I said, showing and proving is like totally different than just hearing about something. Those actions speak, and once people, see you do what you do, then they have something to respect. Before that, it's just a bunch of talk, So it was definitely more support after, I started actually doing gigs and putting in the work and things like that. In the beginning, it was, a couple of my friends, they were supportive and, people here and there, but maybe the more support probably came in, but after the fact, like after I started, after I was more accomplished and I started getting like bigger gigs and more gigs and things like that.
Okay. So was your strongest support from the DJ community or from your friends and family?
Definitely the DJ community. I say it all the time. You'll get more appreciation and support from people who don't know you than the people who are supposed to be closest to you. And over the years, it's been people that I don't even know that support me and go harder for me in the, behind the scenes than your actual people.
True. Now, for the business that y'all been creating, how has the support system been for that?
People have been pretty supportive. A lot of people just like the whole couple aspect thing. The fact that we work together and we've been able to build together. So it's been like, there's a lot of support behind that. I guess it's like the new trending topic, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's a couple that's out here that's actually in the business. They actually able to handle their business and they don't have all their business out in the streets.
There you go.
So
well, that's us right here, because that's what people didn't understand with us. They were like, how could y'all be together in such a business that's always filled with temptation? And our thing was, hey, part of the business is being flirtatious. Part of the business is kind of showing out. But as long as you have the respect for one another and you know where you're going at night, once you get done, you're fine. I mean, like you said, and I'm no different than you. I look at it as a job. I don't go to the point where, I'm going at a party, dance, something like that. If I want to dance, I can do that at home. But we going there to get paid and supply a service. And after that service is filled, we going back home. And if we want to get our boogie on, we get it on at home.
Exactly.
But last night we caught you on your radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the energy that you supplied, because you brought people in to have them forget about the club scene, to where they could be in their house, they feel the same type of vibe as though they were there with you. And that's something special, because a lot of DJs cannot do that. You can just hear them and that's about it. But you were talking to them. People came into the room. You knew exactly who they were. You were transparent, as though, hey, we right there with her, whether or not we can see her or not. Hey, but we know we right there with her. She's welcoming. She does this, and that's a special kind of quality, to the point where I know you have to feel some way about that. Tell me how that makes you feel.
It's a good feeling. Like, it's funny, when I first started radio, it was like, it was weird for me because there's nobody in front of you. You get so used to rocking in front of a crowd and a lot of people and stuff. When you're in a room by yourself for the most part and you're like trying to get like hype and stuff, it's kind of weird at first. But like more so over the years, it's been like you get more comfortable because you're still doing what you do. And you know that there's people out there listening to you. So you just gotta go with the flow and you vibe. And to get the feedback that I get from people who listen and stuff, and they're like, man, I felt like I was right there. I felt like I was in the club. I was in the car bouncing like, it was 2003 again. Like, it's a good feeling. Like, I love what I do. And I know I get hyped when I'm playing music and like, I'm enjoying playing. So knowing that everybody else is enjoying listening and they're feeling that same energy that I'm putting out is like, it's a good feeling.
Definitely.
You're doing your job.
Tell anybody as far as where they can look you up at, as far as your social media links, your website, your radio station.
So the radio station that I play on right now is WRDRradio.com. I'm on every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The name of the show is Red Room with Red Bottom. On all social media, you can follow me at DJ_Red Bottom. My website is itsdjredbottom.com. So that's basically all everything is pretty much DJ_Red Bottom as far as social media to be able to follow me. And like I always tell people, post me, I'm gonna repost you. Holla at me, I'm gonna shout you out.
There you go. And that's something that we need to really put out there, because it's not enough DJs supporting DJs in the public. We do it behind the scenes, but we really don't do it outward. And people think take it to the point where, why is it that the DJs always going against each other? It's not the fact we're going against each other. It's the fact that people don't know that we support one another. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be to the point where, it has to be a conference. Then it's like, okay, that's when we see all the DJs. Nah, it don't have to be a conference. I don't see enough DJs watching other DJs when they're live.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, it's mad cool because you share the same love. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with tips, because to me, everybody's still willing to learn, because something new coming every day. So I don't see nothing wrong with going into another DJ's live and saying, "Hey, what's up? What's good?" and then sharing them. We should be now to the point where we should be comfortable of who we are and where we are.
But that's the problem. A lot of people aren't.
Well, I'll tell you today.
Sucks, but that's what it is. Like for me, I love going on other people's lives, other DJs, listening to other DJs play. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody plays different. Like you could take all the same songs and have 10 different DJs play it, and it's gonna be 10 different. You're gonna get 10 different sounds. You're not gonna get the same sound.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna put this out there. Why don't you and I start a new trend? I'm gonna follow you, you follow me, and see how many other DJs we can bring in when we go live.
I'm with it.
Y'all heard it here first, right here on DJ Chronicles. And I do want y'all to follow DJ Red Bottom, which is DJ _Red Bottom on her social media links. You will be in for a treat, especially on Thursday nights. Because last night she actually told everybody, she said, "Look, I'm feeling good. I'm going there tonight." She did not hold back.
No, I could not last night. There's
I
a little
brought
bit
some
of
other
background
people in,
story though.
and I got good feedback because their thing was, she's a female. I said, yeah. I said, do never be surprised to the point where it's only the men that can do this. I said, you'd be surprised how many women out there that can play
yeah.
just as good as men. And I'm glad you mentioned DJ Coco Chanel because I go way back to when I first saw her, and I knew it was something special about her. And she's the only female to this day that I keep talking about and tell people check out. But now they got two females to check out, two women to check out, because now it's Coco Chanel and DJ Redbottom. I'm putting it out there in the atmosphere. I would love to see DJ Coco Chanel and DJ Redbottom do a set together. I'm paying for that.
Look, see, hey, put it out there. Put it out there in the atmosphere.
Because it's not enough. And I think, it's art. And I know for a fact, pretty soon, this type of art form will be in colleges to take a credit course.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of colleges actually starting to offer turntable. Yeah.
Now, speaking about schools, because you did mention that your husband's teaching too. How is that to the point where that y'all combine that together?
Like right now, it's more or less like he's teaching from home. He has a couple of students that come in.
Okay.
I just think like it's a great opportunity because you've got somebody, a seasoned vet in the game that's able to put his knowledge and his experiences and his skill set out there to teach. Like you said, like a lot of DJs, they don't want to teach. They don't want people to know how to do what they do. They're so scared somebody's gonna get better than them or be better than them. You've got somebody who's done everything, that's willing to give up his time and his energy to show, improve, and pass his knowledge on to future generations. It's dope. Look, like we need more DJs and more artists that are willing to be like that and to do things like that.
Exactly, because
like keep the culture going, the real hip hop culture. Because hip hop, what's the artist without the DJ?
Right, that's it. And like I'm hearing now, a lot of the rappers from back in the day are now coming out saying, "Hey, my record would not have been anything without the DJ."
Exactly.
So how could y'all leave the DJs out? I'm gonna tell you, I can basically tell you how they did that. It wasn't the artists themselves taking us out the game. It was the labels.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the labels thing was they're trying to keep all the money to themselves.
Yep.
When they give it to the DJ thing is, I'm not going to play it the regular way. I'm going to find a better way. And we have to do that because we wouldn't be able to build a name for ourselves if we did. We're not that radio jock, just at the station back in the day, just one record on at a time. You couldn't do that at a party. You did back in the 70s. But as soon as the 80s came, we were like, nah, man, not that. No. Can we bring a DJ in for real? Yeah, we're gonna scratch your record, but your records be okay. But that's the culture. And even though the culture is trend setting, is losing something today. The new DJs are not even trying to do the work that we put in. They want the easy way out.
Mm-hmm. Not putting any work, just pressing the button and going.
So I can appreciate anybody who's willing to teach today because it says a lot.
Absolutely.
They're the ones that saying, we want the culture to still remain how I learned from back in the day. I don't want, it to get lost in the sauce. Because if we continue just to, let these new cats come in, we won't get lost. And I'm not taking nothing away from them. My thing is, everybody learns in a different format. But if you really want to get behind the DJ game, learn your history first.
Absolutely. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to do the work, the legwork. They don't want to put in that extra time to learn. And
it's like Kevin Hart. I'm gonna take his quote. He said, "Everybody want to be famous, but don't want to put the work in."
Exactly.
So it's been a pleasure.
Microwave. It's the microwave culture. Just pop and go.
That's it. It's been a pleasure talking to my sister, DJ Redbottom.
Absolutely.
And I do hope that everybody takes heed to what what was said today. And I hope a lot of women out there is inspired by DJ Red Bottom to the point where there's no limitations to what women can do. Because as you see, just because you look at her as a female DJ, she has other things beyond just DJing. She went to other aspects of the business. So it's a stepping stone. And that's why we should never look down on anybody for what their dreams or their goals shall be, because they can rise to any occasion. So we do appreciate having DJ Red Bottom on. Big shout out to Coco Chanel, because we're gonna try to make that happen. We want to see that. Big shout out to the dominant artist. Hopefully we can get him on here, because
Absolutely.
that's a powerful. I'm telling y'all don't know what a powerful couple is until you have a couple that shares the same love, the same dream in the business, and pushes each other. That's a bond that cannot be broken. Trust and believe, a bond that cannot be broken. These are our kings and queens here, to the point they're now building for a better future, and with the help of a village. So I want y'all to keep in mind. So we do appreciate you. Nothing but love here, right here for DJ Chronicles. Looking forward to having you again. And be on the lookout, because you will see us popping in and out of some of y'all DJ pages while y'all live. We're going to make that happen.
That's right.
So until next time, y'all, it's your boy, DJ DYMONDKUTZ. And this is another episode of DJ Chronicles. Peace.